To the casual observer, the Tour de France looks like the ultimate test of individual endurance. A single rider surviving 3 grueling weeks to stand alone on the podium in Paris wearing the coveted yellow jersey. Zooming out reveals a completely different reality. That lone cyclist is actually the highly polished hood ornament on a massive rolling city. Look at this map of the 3,500-kilometer route. To support a peloton of 219 racers, an armada of 1,100 vehicles tracks them across the country, requiring organizers to secure 1,200 hotel rooms every single night just to house the personnel. Physiologically, the human body cannot operate at its absolute maximum capacity for 21 days straight. Under those conditions, a rider's internal systems will rapidly break down. Winning the Tour relies on a relentless 24-hour logistical and nutritional machine designed entirely to subsidize a single human being's survival. The survival loop begins at dawn in the team hotel kitchen. Here, the team chef starts engineering the day's biological fuel well before the riders wake up. Cyclists need massive amounts of calories to survive the upcoming stage, but they face a strict biological constraint. They have to keep their fiber intake incredibly low so their bodies aren't wasting energy digesting heavy, bulky food during the race. To solve this, the morning menu is hyper-specific. Riders load their plates with sourdough pancakes, bowls of steamed white rice, and customized omelets. Instead of eating whole vegetables, they drink freshly pressed juices to extract the nutrients without the fiber. As the athletes digest, a totally different kind of machine hits the road. Hours ahead of the cyclists, a 600-vehicle publicity caravan departs. It is a massive fleet of heavily branded sponsor trucks tightly woven into the event's history. This rolling commercial empire exists to hype up the massive crowds waiting behind the barriers. The caravan blasts music and launches up to 14 million promotional freebies into the hands of 12 million spectators lining the roads. Long before a single pedal turns, a massive transfer of commercial infrastructure and heavily processed calories has completely prepared the battlefield for the day's stage. Once the racing actually begins, the environment becomes hostile. A cyclist cutting through the air at 40 kilometers an hour hits a wall of invisible aerodynamic drag. To protect the team's designated leader from this force, teams deploy specialized riders known as domestiques, the French word for servants. This animation shows exactly how they form a physical shield. By riding directly in front of their captain, the domestiques take the brunt of the wind resistance, deflecting the air and creating a protected slipstream pocket that saves the leader up to 80% of their energy. Fighting the wind is only half their job. Throughout the stage, these domestiques frequently drop to the back of the peloton, locate their trailing team car, load their jerseys with heavy water bottles, and fight their way back up through the pack to resupply the leader. If a strong wind hits the riders from the side, that protective formation fractures. A leader caught in a crosswind without their domestiques is forced to fight the air alone, burning physiological matches they cannot afford to lose. The captain's high-speed performance relies entirely on the physical exhaustion and aerodynamic sacrifice of the teammates surrounding them. That sacrifice reaches its breaking point when the race hits the steep, punishing switchbacks of the high mountains. Here, the domestiques face a secondary threat, the time cut. Race officials set a strict elimination deadline each day, calculated as a percentage of the stage winner's finishing time. To survive the mountains, exhausted domestiques and heavy sprinters form a trailing pack known as the gruppetto. They set aside team rivalries and labor up the climbs together, carefully pacing their effort to cross the finish line right before the deadline hits. The moment a rider finally crosses that line, a new clock starts. The body's glycogen stores are entirely depleted, and they have a strict 1-hour physiological window to begin replacing them effectively. The riders head straight to the team bus for highly digestible meals of fresh pasta and lean proteins. Outside the windows, the entire 1,100-vehicle logistical empire is already navigating the chaotic mountain roads toward the next town. Keeping your spot in the Tour requires finishing the day's stage, but surviving the 3-week event means winning the immediate biological race to recover before tomorrow. That biological race continues at the team hotel. The nightly dinner serves a calculated intake of restorative soups, simple carbohydrates, and thoroughly cooked vegetables to deliver micronutrients without taxing the digestive system. Every piece of clothing is washed, every bike is completely rebuilt by the mechanics, and every rider receives extensive massage therapy. This physical and logistical reset has to be executed flawlessly in the 12 hours before the next stage starts. When you look at the rider hoisting the trophy in Paris, the logos printed across that yellow jersey represent an invisible army. That individual champion is simply the tip of the spear. Their victory is the visible output of a rolling city, cutting-edge culinary science, and the ultimate collective sacrifice of the teammates who blocked the wind.